Hello and welcome to Meadow Farm. I just want to give you, the customer, a wee bit more of an insight as to where your food comes from and what goes on in the day-to-day running of a general farm. The idea being that over the next 12 months we'll put together a short blog monthly to show you how the growing season changes throughout the year and what's involved in growing your crops. We're farming about 400 acres of land and we have a farm shop running now for over 20 years. And have added to that this year with the opening of a new tea room to accompany the farm shop. Back on farm, the main crops we grow are potatoes, winter wheat, winter barley, grass silage, some veg crops for the farm shop, and a few cattle. Our new tea room opened in November and so far has been a great success. We have quickly built up a great team of 12 staff who are managed by Sharon, my wife, who is also the baker of all things sweet. We're here in what essentially is a massive fridge for storing potatoes. When it comes to the end of October, potatoes generally are all harvested and stored to keep them fresh. If we leave them out in the fields too long at this time of the year, frost, rain, etc., you can lose the potato crop altogether because a potato is 75%, 80% water, and if it freezes, that's it. So you don't want it out in the frosty conditions over the winter. So they're stored in here at 3 degrees all winter. So they could be here from end of October right through to May until the new season crop are ready. So they're stored here, we take them out, pick them as and when required every week, and then they're bagged up and sent off to the farm shop. Something you'll not very often see on the farm for the month of January is we have our early potatoes planted. Conditions this month have been very dry and abnormally dry for January. Mild as well up to the past few days in the month. So first couple of weeks in January we were fit to get these potatoes planted, and hopefully these will be come to market for you mid to end of May, weather conditions permitting. It can still, we're weather dependent right up until harvest. But hopefully these will be on the farm shop shelves mid to the end of May to get the early market going and get the customers fresh new season potatoes. Another important job we do in the month of January is soil sampling. It's a vital part of our program strategy as we go forward throughout the season as to understanding what our crop will require going forward to see that we can get the optimum from our end result and yield benefit from our crop. Plus there's no point applying more than necessary if it's not going to benefit the soil or the crop as well. So there's a wee look into how we take our soil analysis. We're out here in a field of winter wheat, as you can see behind me. It's looking pretty healthy because we've had a very good, very dry winter so far. Only issue being in some of our winter crops it's too mild, which is causing extra disease. That's something we'll have to monitor going forward. A wee bit more cold frosty weather will actually help, as it's a natural way of killing off some of the diseases. Just like people with colds and flus, the more cold weather you have, the less there'll be in the winter, as the bugs can't survive in the cold conditions. It was then sowed straight into the residue of the maize crop. We didn't plough this. We were trying to retain the the good structure created by a crop of maize and the deep roots it has, as you can see on the residue left behind here. This hopefully naturally opens up the soil and allows us to work it without turning it over with the plough. It's a method of saving money in the establishment costs on farm, but it also is supposed to lead to improved health of the soil. This is something we're still working on. It's proven very worthwhile, as you see the root structure of the wheat plant developing well. If we take a closer look here after we've dug our hole for our soil sample, it's a great way of assessing how the root structure of our plant is developed over the winter. We're still only in January, but the roots of this Crispin wheat plant have already got themselves a good 5 inches deep into the soil, are scavenging well for nutrients. So going forward in the spring, hopefully this root structure will develop more and give us a great base to extract nutrients from the soil rather than just being too shallow. Also, the healthy growth of the plant is vitally important as we go forward in the spring, because a healthier plant is less likely to take disease, and with all the environmental issues going on at the moment, the less disease, which means less use of chemicals, which we try to refrain from as farmers. Farmers do not want to have to apply any more chemicals than absolutely necessary, but unfortunately it's just a way of the world. Without the chemicals, the plants won't survive, especially in our wet climate. Our wet, warm climate in the springtime is a high disease pressure, and if we want profitable, healthy crops that will feed people in the world, unfortunately pesticides and fungicides are vitally important at times. Just a perfect example of how the weather affects the farmers on a negative basis very easily. This maize crop grew well and healthy through the dry summer, but just 2 weeks before harvest, there was 2 nights heavy wind, which broke the plant in half and caused some of the kernels, or the corn in the cob as better known, to fall over to the ground level. And unfortunately the harvesting equipment wasn't fit to lift this. This has been left behind and lost, which would have been vital feeding towards the livestock over the winter. Also means the more of that's on the ground, the less weight and tonnage I get off the field, and the less profit I make from the crop going forward. Especially in such a year where we're coming into the winter short of fodder. This is the important bit of the maize plant. No good to nobody. It actually can cause me problems, because vermin and badgers and foxes will hook up the ground over the winter to see what they could get from it. We've come inside here to the farm office. Farming's just the same as any other business nowadays. Paperwork is a big element of what keeps you busy. A lot of it essential and a lot of it very important as well. It helps set you up for the year going ahead. We'll just show you how we take in the soil analysis now that it has been returned, and use that to prepare for our soil and crop recommendations for the year ahead. So now that the soil analysis has been sent away, analysed, and the laboratories have sent me back a report of what is in my soil, and I can use this now to build a profile of what I need to do to feed the following crop, which in this case is a field of wheat. So you can see here there's quite a few scores, a couple of them low, which means I need to keep analysis on them. Something we're very happy with, which is a big point in the press today with Brexit, how farmers look after the environment and the soil, is the organic matter. And as you can see from this report, the guideline is 3 and our organic status is 6.9, which is very good. So that's something that wouldn't worry me terribly. A lot of them are in that region of 5 to 7, which is good. And I can use this then to build a picture of what we're going to do on the farm and input the recommendations required from a fertilizer, which then gives me a report which is available through the Department of Agriculture, which helps with my forward planning. And I can now see what nutrients is required and what fertilizers I need to purchase and have ready for the following crop from now to April. So I can then use this analysis and take these figures with me in the tractor, and then apply each type of fertilizer to the requirements for each field. There's no blanket basis. Each field gets looked after individually in each crop. Just have to now follow this through and complete it for the other 54 fields.